Welcome everyone to the Nosebleeds Podcast. This is going to be episode 3. We're joined with your co-host,
Aidan, coming at you from DraftKings.
From DraftKings headquarters. This is where we're located, Kiran. This is from the Huntington headquarters. You feel me?
This is from the Huntington headquarters. I'm not from DraftKings.
Yeah, unfortunately not. But anyways, guys, so this is going to be our picks, our sleepers of the week, and things we're going to be discussing. So this is the first time we're going to be getting picks out a little earlier. And for that reason, Logan might join us a little later. He might not. We're not sure. But me and Aidan will take the reins of this ship for the day or for the moment being. And also do realize that my name obviously is not Logan, although it says that there. Anyways, Aidan, let's crack it off, man. Let's break down your fantasy lineup for this week's Millionaire Maker.
This Millie Maker, I'm going with Mr. Matthew Stafford. He's in my just kind of first original building of lineups. My quarterback is Matthew Stafford. He's in a super good spot at home against LA. LA has really not looked that good against pretty weak competition. And now you got the Lions coming off the bye with Matt Stafford throwing all game to the young Marvin Jones. And I think Theo Riddick's in a really good spot too. So I'm doing a little bit of the Theo Riddick, Matthew Stafford, and Marvin Jones stacking.
I like that. I cannot disagree. I just realized his salary is pretty nice, $6,200, and he averages about 21
just
points.
That there's going to be so many people on Drew Brees and Cam Newton that you have to kind of find cheaper picks because what are the odds? Like, shit always goes down like that. Everyone's on these two quarterbacks, and somehow the game turns into like that, like the Giants Saints 2 weeks ago, right? Everyone was thinking this is going to be a 50-point total, or it was supposed to be this crazy shootout, and nothing happened.
30 points, right?
And
29,
then
I think
both those quarterbacks had like 50% exposure. So if you fade those guys, like you're already going to be in a super good position. And then with Theo Riddick, I think that with the Lions potentially going to blow out the Rams and Marvin Jones stacking, you could get some value with Theo Riddick seeing a lot of carries.
I do agree. Him as a carrying back is always questionable, but
it's just if Dwayne Washington's still not 100%, he's going to be the sole back in a pretty like aggressive offense, you know?
It does make sense. What I was saying is that Theo Riddick, you get free points from the receptions he gets out of the backfield. Whether he gets yards or not, that's just a cherry on top.
For
as
sure.
a running back, just to get those receptions, that's why Le'Veon Bell is so sought after.
Yeah, PPR is insane. Oh, that's another guy. Le'Veon this week is in such a good spot against Miami. Everyone is like, you look at Big Ben's home road splits, so they're not that good, but I mean, Miami has just been destroyed by any kind of a running back with any skill. So I expect Le'Veon Bell.
There's what you're mentioning.
I feel like Le'Veon is almost a must play this week, unless Ben's home road splits, especially Sammy Coates. He's seen today. It's on Wednesday today with a cast at practice. So a guy that already has trouble catching the ball, having any limitation at all on his hand is going to be. And then the entire Dolphins backfield is just going to be focusing on Antonio Brown. So I think any play with Le'Veon is going to just explode. I think he's a guy that you have to have this week.
So we like Theo Riddick and Le'Veon at running back, from what I understand.
They do. I think Le'Veon's a little bit more chalky. I think there's a couple chalky guys this week. Let me go over a couple for let's go start. I'm just going to start with quarterback. Yeah, let's go over some chalky plays. Basically, I think the three obvious ones are going to be Drew, Cam, and Tom Brady, right? Those are the guy. That's what everyone's going to be on this week. You think? What do you feel? Those are the three obvious chalk plays, right?
It's kind of hard to choose against Tom Brady but the thing is, the Bengals team is a hungry team. It's always hard. What are the Bengals? 2-3, I believe now. It's really going to be tough to pick.
And they're not playing against guys like Tom Brady coming off 3 weeks of rest, and they're playing in New England, and Julian Edelman's healthy, and Gronk's healthier now. Like, this is a full healthy lineup that's coming out.
Not a lot of people have been talking about Gronk, but he had 100 yards that game.
He had 100 yards and nobody's talking about it.
Yeah.
And just think if Martellus didn't get 3 touchdowns.
And they were all like little dinky dunkers in the end zone. Anybody can get that throw. It's just that part of football. If you get in the end zone and the running back isn't the one getting the ball in,
yeah.
Literally, I mean, remember week 1, Jack Doyle with 2 touchdowns? Who's Jack Doyle? The like 4th string tight end for the Colts got 2 touchdowns in the red zone. I think he had like maybe 15, 20 yards in the game or something, but he had 2 touchdowns. So
Kiran,
it goes exactly to your point.
do you want me to hit you with my sleeper QB of the week? Do you want me to just give it to you?
Yeah. Let's see what it is.
I'll wait for the dog. I'll wait for the dog.
Well,
It is the young Russell Wilson.
oh, so going on this. So bear with me.
All right. Okay, you can take my sleeper. Tell him. Tell him
No,
about Russell Wilson.
not about why I think is sleeper. I don't know what dummy dropped him on our Yahoo Fantasy League. I picked him up in like week 5 on waiver claim.
Someone dropped Russell?
Yeah, I picked him up. It was awesome. He's starting
so
on my
funny.
fantasy team too. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
But I'd like to hear the
So yeah, for DraftKings, Russell is in a 6th spot, coming off the bye, at home against the Falcons, who are the number 1 offense in the league. So you know that it's going to be a high-scoring game. Even with the Seahawks lead, you know Matt Ryan's going to find a way to get some yards, and their defense is fairly atrocious. That's why you need a good offense to make up for that shit defense. I think Russell Wilson finds Jimmy Graham, finds Doug Baldwin, makes it happen with those 2 offensive weapons. He might even run it in himself. He's coming off a bye. Pete Carroll's going to figure it out. These Seahawks team are realizing like it's about to get real. They need to. They're gonna start going hard.
I mean that should be the goal. I mean, for me, I like the matchup because, like I said, I've always questioned Atlanta's defense. They're a little suspect. Unfortunately, we can see their full potential last game. Denver's offense it's currently a joke. I think Trevor Seaman is like a good core for that. You know, he's a good like on-field manager.
Let's go to the Thursday slate real quick. Talking about the Broncos, are you doing any Thursday slate at all with Trevor Seaman against the Chargers, and then Monday? I'm looking at that Monday game super hard. You got Carson Palmer against who is it? Let me look right here.
Arizona. I mean, this is another.
Arizona against who is it? Arizona. Fuck. It's Arizona. How am I forgetting this right now? My brain. It is Arizona versus the Jets, of course. Yeah, that's why I'm going Carson Palmer and John Brown, super heavy.
Suspect defense.
Carson Palmer against the Jets have literally looked like the worst. Not alone just like offense. I mean, with Fitz throwing a ridiculous amount of interceptions. He's thrown like 9 or 10 in the last 3 games. Terrible. The Jets literally
6 in 1 game, and that was such a joke.
You have also the just huge play value of John Brown getting thrown the deep ball every time, and with the Jets defense lacking, I mean everyone's going to be assuming Larry Fitzgerald is going to get just covered. He's going to get it's the same thing as Antonio Brown. They just worry about everyone in the backfield is going to be worrying about Antonio Brown when John Brown's going to be 60 yards deep waiting for the touchdown. It's basically it's a money spot for John Brown. Like I don't see a spot where he doesn't get at least a touchdown and a couple of yards. Like he's a clean spot in Thursday to Monday slate for sure. And he's super cheap. So when you have everyone going super high with Cam and Drew Brees and Tom Brady, you get Carson Palmer down at literally 6,000. That's insane. Against the Jets defense at home, I think a lot of people are going to be forgetting about Carson. Maybe sub 10%. I think for sure sub 10%. And you're going to get John Brown at under 5%. Larry's going to be 20. You could stack them maybe even all 3 of them. This could be a Carson Palmer breakout game. He had last week off because of the concussion. He's coming out hard and he's ready to go.
Yeah, I think so. Actually, I really like Drew Stanton. He's probably not going to play this game, but
he's not yet. Carson's got cleared concussion.
Well, that's just one of the players I cheer for, man. The way he cheers for his teammates is really, really cool to see, by the way. But to finish up on this Millionaire Maker, so far we got Matthew Stafford, which is a pretty good pick. I really like that. We got Theo Riddick and Le'Veon Bell. Who do we got? Who are we looking at wide receiver this week?
You want me to talk some wide receiver with you?
Yeah, we saw T.Y. have an enormous game last week. I think this is 2 weeks in a row he had like 170 yards, right?
T.Y.'s a threat, bro.
Let's see.
Do you think
174 yards, 42 yards, 170? That's so odd. Look, 41 yards, 174 yards. 42 yards, 171 yards. Really funny. So this is probably going to be a bad week according to how this works here.
How he switches from
That's
game
so
to
funny.
game. I feel like that I'm going to completely fade most of the Colts this week, and I'm going heavy on Will Fuller. Will Fuller, I mean,
He has such a bad
DeAndre's
week
going to
last
have Revis for sure.
week. Revis didn't play last week. Is he cleared to play this week? Do we know?
Either way, they're going to be same thing as
Either
Antonio
way.
Brown. I tell you, I say this every time. When you have one wide receiver who's just such a fucking like a superstar, the entire backfield just worries about him, and then the second guy gets so many points, gets so many looks against worse defenses.
Yeah.
The entire Colts defense is garbage. They're going to be just trying to keep Lamar Miller and DeAndre Hopkins in check, and then same thing as John Brown, Will Fuller, fucking 60 yards deep, ready for a touchdown, bro.
Yeah.
Will Fuller all day. Will Fuller all day.
We have to throw him in there if you're really feeling him.
My boy Will Fuller for sure. I think is going to crush. And then I'm gonna be honest. I'm feeling Tannehill. I feel like he's going to be 0 owned because everyone hates him, and you're going to get Jarvis Landry, who had an anomaly of a game last game. He always gets over 10 targets. Devontae Parker. They're going to be down a ton against Pittsburgh. Probably they're going to have to be throwing deep. Devontae Parker, Jarvis Landry. I love both of those plays.
I think so. I like that you bring that up. I think this is going to be like an easy Pittsburgh win, and for that reason,
it should be.
So it's for that reason I don't like the fact that I wouldn't pick Tannehill because when you're down,
No,
and you
not
have to
Tannehill.
throw,
I meant to say I wasn't going to pick Tannehill, but I'm saying that you get value from
Jarvis
everyone
Landry
being off
is
of
a
Tannehill,
great
and Jarvis
pick.
Landry and Devontae Parker one of them could easily get 150 yards and a touchdown or two.
So the reason I think, like I said, when a defense sits back in coverage, they know they have the lead. It's easy to play against the pass, but Ryan Tannehill might get 18, 19 points. That's actually great for 5,400. That meets value, I think. But Jarvis Landry could easily end up in this game with 28, in excess of 28 points, easily. Just because they're going to be down, they're going to just try to give their playmakers the ball. It makes a lot of sense. I love the Jarvis Landry pick is an amazing pick. I really, really enjoy that one.
Yeah.
So we're
And then-
going to throw him in there.
At tight end, I'm a big fan of the big Gronk. I feel like you have to have some kind of the Patriots offense this week, whether it be Gronk, Edelman, maybe a little James White, some Hogan. I just named their entire fucking offense, but
Yeah.
I feel like you need someone from their
what's Hogan
offense.
looking at this week?
Hogan just runs deep.
Yeah, he hobbled off the field last game. Is he okay?
Twice.
now?
He got pulled out twice, but he came back in. The man's a savage. Yeah, I think that you could definitely be looking at anyone from the Patriots offense. He just throws to so many people. That's why it's hard to stack. But I think Gronk is going to get his. He always does, and you don't want to miss the week when Gronk explodes. You know he's going to sometime this year. He has yet to. This is going to be the week he's probably going to be lower ownership than he's going to be after that explosion week. I'll willing to risk a couple lineups on having Gronk in there just to have
Definitely,
him potentially blow up, which he's going to do one time this year.
What we did understand, or what we did learn from last game, is that Martellus, whatever his name is, Bennett, he's a really optimal plug-in option that they have in the end zone, which is very good to see for owners that maybe are trying to pass by on somebody that gets catches. I mean, the most points you can get is off a touchdown, right? 6 points. So that's 6 points plus one for the reception plus the yards. So that's not a good option. But to build a lineup, what is like a good tight end that you think you can get good points and save money?
Super cheap tight end. I love Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham's a guy that you're going to get a.
Not the cheapest, but he is lesser.
You want the boy Kobe Fleener. You're going to get a shootout with the New Orleans Carolina game. Kobe Fleener is 3,500. I like taking risks on cheaper guys. It gives you.
I think he'll definitely be like greater than 15% owned. I think
No
so.
way. Absolutely not.
What? You don't think so? If
Nobody knows who Kobe Fleener is, and he sucks.
At his price range, though. Like,
I mean, people are going to be. I think people are going to pay up for Greg
and
Olsen,
then
Gronk, Delaney
what about-
Walker. Let's hold on. The Titans are in a 6th spot. Delaney Walker and DeMarco Murray are going to be fucking so chalky. It's going to be crazy. They're going to be paying up for the Martellus Bennett after last week. People are going to chase him. Jimmy Graham, the Jordan Reed against Philly, maybe. Delaney Walker is going to be huge. I don't think Kobe Fleener is going to be over 15%.
you don't think so?
I don't think so. I think Kobe
tight end
Fleener is a
position, I
sleeper,
would
though.
not think
I think he could potentially go up. I think Charles Clay
I
could
think-
make some things happen.
What about Jesse James? I really like him. I think he's finally hitting his stride in that offense. He's
I
found his
just think
spot.
who's more likely to score a ton of points this week? And I know Jesse James is 3,000. He's probably going to meet value if he just gets a target. But I think Le'Veon is
He
going to
got 8
just
targets last. Like he's finally getting.
Le'Veon is just going to erupt all over the Dolphins. Like I don't know if he's going to literally just feast all of the points up. Like he's going to do the entire thing.
You think so?
Kinda. But yeah, hold on. Let me go to the Tennessee game for a second because DeMarco
Kinda.
Murray is in the best spot ever.
I love DeMarco Murray. You could throw him in the flex easily.
You could throw DeMarco anywhere you want. He's a savage, bro. He's kind of expensive, and if you're gonna have Le'Veon, it's gonna be kind of hard to squeeze DeMarco and have any value at wide receiver. But DeMarco against Cleveland, when he's getting 30 touches a game and going against this defense, you know they're gonna be up. You know DeMarco's gonna run him, and he's gonna put in work, bro.
Who do you like?
But he's gonna be so chalky. He's gonna be like 30% owned, bro. He's gonna be so high owned.
DeMarco Murray?
I think DeMarco, LaShawn are going to be too higher owned. I think Lamar and Todd Gurley are two kind of lesser expensive, but still pretty expensive running back ones that are going to be super under-owned, but still have potential for easily putting up 30 points. Lamar Miller against the Colts, come on, bro.
The Panthers' defense is such a joke, man.
The Panthers, I know.
The thing is, they're really cheap. Picking them isn't awful because I think Drew Brees is interception prone, so you can guarantee.
He'll throw an interception, but then he'll throw 4 touchdowns and like 300 yards. Like
it doesn't matter how many touchdowns he throws. You won't get negative points as long as you get those sack points. Definitely could see their front seven.
See Luke going off, right? That's why I'm saying I'm pivoting away from that game. There's like people expect this game to be a shootout, and if he's 50% owned, which not super unlikely, like
maybe 30, in excess of 30%. I could see that.
He'll be either way. Drew and Cam are going to be the 2 highest owned, and if you fade that game, like you're going to get some value just because what's more likely? What's more likely in fantasy football? The games meet our expectations, or we're ending disappointed. I don't know about you, but every Sunday night I'm disappointed. Like
the only time I was ever happy is when I picked Meredith, and then I was just like, wow.
And then you're like, yeah, look at that.
I can actually be good at DraftKings. Maybe I do know a little bit. But so far, I'm going to break down the lineup for you. We got Matthew Stafford, Le'Veon Bell, Theo Riddick, Will Fuller, Jarvis Landry, Cameron Meredith. I threw him in there just to see what happened. Kobe Fleener, DeMarco Murray, and then we have 2,600 to pick a defense. Our options are like the Ravens, the Panthers, the Falcons.
Yo, Eli's look terrible. Give me the Ravens, D on the road.
What? I know, right? God, Eli's so bad. He is so interception prone.
You know what? Let's go. Give me the Ravens on the road.
Baltimore is no joke this year, man.
They're not. They're a sub. Yeah, they're a beast of an offense, bro.
Last game they got an interception, a sack, a defensive fumble recovery. That's pretty good.
I'm telling you. All right, that's a salt. That's gonna. There you go. We just won the millie. There it is.
I'm actually gonna put it in.
Okay.
I entered it.
I want. Give me some percent when we win, bro.
We'll definitely. That's already been set in stone. I will always. That's a factor. I will always give my squad some money if I win. Hell yeah.
The squad.
We're a team.
Is that the podcast right there? Do we just bang out?
I think I'm just gonna do one lineup, like my personal lineup, because I think that was like, you know what I mean. I'm gonna do one lineup.
Yeah. Show the people your.
So like last time I opened up spreads for them and stuff. Like I was football spreads. Oh, sports book is better. Sports book. What is this, week 6?
This is week 6, yes, sir.
Okay, so I opened it up for the peoples. So far, I'm going to look at the highest scoring game this week. Highest scoring wow, there's no game that's favored to go over 50.
Have they set the line for the Panthers game yet?
I heard that the spread was not going to be set because they don't know if Cam's playing or not. That's what I was reading on the Sports Geek character.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they have not set a line yet. Yeah, they have 53. Oh, damn. And Carolina is favored to win the game. Yeah, Carolina is favored to win the game. Yep. Okay. Anyways, so let's just finish up this quickly. Man, who do I want at quarterback? It's just hard to pick against Tom Brady going against Cincinnati. Like I said, It's gonna be, if you're playing the millionaire this year and you don't have Tom Brady in every single week, at least in 1 year lineups. I mean, I just feel like this is his season to like really hurt everybody's feelings for doubting him. The only rough thing is Tom Brady, although I love him, to stack a receiver with him is so hard because you just don't know whose week it's going to be.
That's why we don't stack the receiver. We stack the Gronk.
It's really tough because, like, let's say, like, Gronk had 100 receiving yards last week, but who's the highest scoring? Martellus Bennett. This week could be James White. This week could be Gronk. This week could be Hogan. This could Edelman. Like, you just kind of know when you're picking Drew Brees and Cam Newton who they're going to throw to. Drew Brees a little different. A little Willie Snead. A little Thompson. A little the other dude.
A little Cooks. A little cleaner. Drew Brees throws to everybody, but Cam only throws to Kelvin.
He gets like 400 yards every game. So every receiver that he's going to throw to gets like in excess of 80 yards. And then with Cam Newton, I mean, he only has one receiver on that football team. Kelvin Benjamin. Like, seriously.
So true. How did he go to the fucking Super Bowl last year? Josh Norman, you bad man.
He's not that good. That's for another podcast. I mean, he got destroyed by Odell. It was a joke. But anyways, so I think I'm going to pick Tom Brady in this lineup. It sucks because it's just really rough to pick him. It's something I'm going to be going back and forth all week. I'm going to try to talk myself out of it. I know how I am. It's just hard to pick him because it's just hard to pick a good receiver combo with him, you know? Another player I'm going to look at next week definitely is Jameis Winston. I love the way he's performing this year. He's going to be killer. But I think I'm going to go with Tom Brady. For running back, I think every week the job of a DraftKings player is to find the backup running back that has to start now. Week 2, I was all about the Vikings. I was like, the Vikings are going to... I was like, Sam Bradford is a failure. Let's pick a running back, the backup running back. They were awful. That line just doesn't know how to play for the run. They're happy blocking for Sam Bradford, but nothing else. Do you have any suggestions to throw in here? I mean, it's hard to pick against Zeke. Zeke the freak.
I mean,
he is playing Green Bay, the number one run defense.
The Packers D is just so good. I can't pick against the Packers D.
I mean, Zeke played against the 4th best defense, I believe, last week, and he destroyed them. Against the run, yeah, I think they were 4th ranked.
Nah, the Bengals suck, bro.
Every week, this man got better. 12 points, 15 points, 21, 25, 35. Every week, he's gotten better. On
the road against Green Bay, I could see him having an okay game, but do you see him getting 3 touchdowns that you need to win the Millie? Do you see him breaking 30 points? I don't.
I could see it, but it's hard. Lambeau's cold. It's loud. It's hard to get points up there. Oh my God. How do we not talk about this? Shady against the 49ers at Buffalo. Ooh, Shady is going to be nasty this week. That's a millionaire winner right there. LaShawn McCoy, only 6,900. He's playing at Buffalo against
He's so
the 49ers.
chalky. Everyone's going to be on LaShawn.
Yeah, but I like him. I like him as a safe, even though 20% or excess of that's going to pick him. He's like he'll get you those yards, you know?
I feel like he's in a great spot. Absolutely.
Lamar Miller has been awful this entire year, but he's playing Indianapolis. And Indianapolis freaking
Lamar
sucks.
Miller gets 30 touches. He gets so many touches, bro.
Yeah, last week he only had 8 attempts. They were not letting him play last week.
I suppose.
They were down 24-0 though.
That's kind of what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah, I would never give a running back touches. And then in a divisional game against the Colts, like where it's going to be hard-nosed football, it's going to be about controlling the clock. I think Lamar Miller's actually a good pick.
Lamar Miller's a phenomenal pick.
It's a divisional game. That means it's going to be smash mouth, like OG gangster football, like helmet to helmet. Like that should be a good game. And again, this is for the division leader, by the way. Whoever wins this game.
Is that true?
Yeah, they're both 3 and 2.
Ooh, I got to get me some more Brock Osweiler. I didn't realize.
Boo. God, Brock Osweiler was literally a product of his environment. When he played with the Broncos, when he had those freaking killers at receiver, look what happened. He was feasting. But the second you give him a bad defense or a questionable defense and only one or two awesome stars at receiver, no real tight end, it's rough.
Think you're a hater, bro.
I'm not a hater, man. I'm an appreciator. But moving on to wide receiver, who's another pick that we can look at that's in the low 4,000s that you think?
Tavon Austin, baby, 3,900.
Yeah, that's a joke, man. Tavon is like the only playmaker.
He's
on
gotten
that team.
20. He's gotten 10, 21, and 15 points against better defenses than Detroit. They're gonna be down. They're gonna be throwing. Tavon Austin, 3,900, phenomenal pick.
The only rough thing is like, Jesus, he's a good pick. I'm gonna pick him, but like, man, they need to put that young man, Jared Goff, at quarterback. I think he has some real potential. You're just hurting your own team, man. You got Case Keenum. Who's playing there now? Case Keenum, some other joke. God, it's rough. But who else can we really build a lineup with? For me, I always like going to a defense right away. I think
Bills. I think are a lock.
You said the Bills against 49ers is a good pick.
Yeah,
I like that pick too.
Colin Kaepernick starting. He hasn't played football in like fucking
I
how
actually
long?
will be putting Colin Kaepernick in a lot of my $3 lineups. Definitely not in the millie.
Why? They're gonna get shut out.
Whoa. Colin Kaepernick, if he has any real bone in his back, for all the things he's fighting for, shout out to him. Good on you. For all the things he's standing up for, if he has any backbone, he's putting up 45 points this week.
He is going against a sick Bills defense in Buffalo. Colin Kaepernick is going to have his shitty afro, and he's going to throw a couple picks. Are you forgetting how he wasn't good for the last 3 years?
I know he's bad. I always argue. People tell me, he's not starting because he's not. He is because everybody hates him or because what he's standing for. No. I mean, maybe it is, but for me, I think he's not starting because he's just not the better quarterback. Blaine Gabbert has shown why he deserves not to play.
Blaine Gabbert sucks.
He's awful. So that's why, I mean, you're picking the poison out of two of the worst options, but I think Colin Kaepernick, if he has any umph in his step, this is his week to prove, like, I'm not all talk. I'm about to rep for my city. You feel me? But
I'm
going
about
along,
to rep for my city.
Antonio Brown, just a solid 10,000 this week.
You can't pick Antonio Brown ever.
Nah, this is not possible.
It's
Unless
just
you
like
have a lineup full of sleepers, but he's never gonna meet value. What is
you think he's gonna score fucking
50
4
points?
touchdowns?
50,
No. Yo, what if he did?
Then,
and no one has him because someone's gonna have him in a lineup, and
Yeah,
everyone else is gonna be like,
some rookie.
"How did I not pick Antonio Brown when he scored 7 touchdowns that game, or whatever he's gonna do?"
Yeah, but it's just impossible. I mean, the Miami defense is awful, but I'd rather go with the Sammy Coates who I know.
I'd rather go with
Le'Veon.
Targets. Honestly, Le'Veon is in such a good spot. Sammy Coates hurt his hand. You can't pick him. He's got terrible. He can't catch the ball.
I mean, but he's so cheap, and he got 11 targets last game.
Oh shit! This just came out right now, 2 minutes ago. Theo Riddick not practicing.
That's okay. That's something.
It's only Wednesday.
Yeah, but I mean, it's hard you want to pick somebody in that Cleveland Miami game, and if we're not picking Le'Veon, I'd like to pick Sammy Coates. I mean, Sammy Coates is not a bad pick. There's a couple other people in the lineup that I like.
I feel you. Where is it? I'm trying to find it right here.
Yeah, me too.
Would it be just silly to go Marcus Wheaton for 3,600?
It's not silly, but we've already done that one super cheap pick with Tavon. Unless we put another hitter at receiver at the flex.
Hear me out. Marcus Wheaton, Sammy Coates is injured. He was filling the Martavis Bryant spot, getting those kind of numbers. Marcus Wheaton comes up. Sammy Coates gets hurt. Marcus Wheaton comes up. Now Marcus Wheaton's getting the Martavis Bryant numbers for one game while Sammy Coates recovers. Possibility?
It makes sense. But that's something you're going to have to watch closely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it said that he has a cast on.
It's a soft
Coates
cast.
is sporting a sizable soft cast on his left hand. Jeremy Fowler reports.
Yeah, it's just hard to go against
He had 7 stitches to repair his injured hand past Sunday at halftime. Coates practice participation this week figures to be impacted by the issue. Oh my God! Whitehouse caught 6 passes for 139 yards and 2 TDs. Yes, sir, he did.
I mean, I love the Cameron Meredith pick again, and it's just really like.
Why are you on him? I didn't even know who he was until last week.
The reason I came up on him, actually, the reason this story came about was because, like I said, I'm always on like Cole Beasley and like, Tyrell Williams, because those are the kind of players that will get you 15 points at the worst, or like 12 points at the worst, but their ceiling could be around like 21 or 22, and for a ceiling at like 20, and you're only costing me 3,000 to 3,500. That's great. But the issue is they went up to like 44 and 40, like 9K or something. Or 4,900, 4,500, which is too expensive for me. So I was like, who's a receiver that's injured right now? What's a big name receiver that's injured? And then I saw that White was put on injured reserve. So I was like, okay, awesome. Who's his backup? Who's going to get those touches? And then I came upon Cameron Meredith, who was 3K last week. And I was like, all right, this is him. This is his time. And I read up a lot about him, and I saw that he was a backup, so he was getting a lot of reps with Brian Hoyer with the second team. So I was like, that's not a sour. That's funny. That's not a bad option. So picking him again's not a bad pick. I think it's a player that's gonna be doing a lot of work, really. That'll give us a lot of opportunity to pick.
I like it.
Hitters.
That's where I've been finding trouble this week, is finding cheap receivers that have value. I mean, I'm looking at Cameron. I'm looking at Allen Hurns against Chicago. I'm looking at Hogan. I'm looking at Devontae Parker. But they're still over 4K. The only guy that I'm really feeling under 4K is Tavon Austin, maybe. I mean,
Definitely.
Tyler Lockett against the I mean, look at this thing right here. Doug Baldwin said Tyler Lockett's playing with a torn PCL. And, I mean, look at his numbers. No shit.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have, like, that speed, huh? That's true.
It's just what they said. He says he's got a bad knee injury. I don't know. There's wide receivers a hard place to find value this week besides those 4 guys.
I don't know. And then I'm looking at Terrell Pryor again. It's really hard.
Terrell Pryor's in a good spot, too, because they're going to be down. Tennessee's got a good running defense. Their corners are questionable. I could see Terrell having a big game, too. They're going to be down because Tennessee is awesome.
Yeah, they've been playing really well. That defense is actually no joke. And Marcus Meredith's coming together as a young man. He's a little killer. He's a little filler. And then lastly, who do you think is like a good cheap tight end again?
I got to go back to Colby Fleener. I think he's going to...
Yeah, I think this lineup will have a Colby Fleener in it.
He's so cheap where even if you don't, you can afford to pay up for someone else. He's going to meet value. There's going to be so much passing going on in that game. Give him 1 touchdown. I don't know.
One quick question. Do you believe in Jordy Nelson getting those touches? Because, okay, hear me out.
Not against the Cowboys.
If you see the last games, Aaron Rodgers is just yanking it to him.
So close.
Whether whether there's triple coverage, he's just throwing it in the air. Here, Jordy, I missed you for a year. Get the ball. That's what it feels like to me.
Absolutely, I feel you.
So I know he's gonna get the targets. Last game, 13 targets and only 4 receptions, and he got 38 yards. He only got 1 touchdown, but that was in a really cold game. That's not a fun game. I believe they're playing the Giants.
I think if it'd be a super contrarian pick, you'd get Jordy Nelson super cheap, and he's in that.
No, he's 8K.
He's not 10K like Antonio Brown, but he has potential to put up big numbers. Okay. The Cowboys, I mean, it'd be a low percentage pick that could go off. I respect that Jordy Nelson.
I have these 3. So you pick out of the 3. We have DeMarco Murray. Oh, it's actually going to be 3. DeMarco Murray, Le'Veon Bell, or Jordy Nelson. Who you picking in that flex position? We can pick any of those 3 players.
Le'Veon, 100%.
Le'Veon, right?
Le'Veon, you have to, yeah.
All right, so
there's no reason Le'Veon doesn't explode this game.
So the only thing I might change later on the week, it'll probably be obviously off camera, is maybe Terrell Pryor. I think Julian Edelman's going to be around that 660, 100.
I could see Julian having a big game too.
He's 6,800. What's Hogan listed at? Hogan's 46. So I might throw in a Patriot person in there. I might even throw somebody else in there you don't know. Right now, I'm actually running a naked Tom Brady because I just never know who's going to throw the ball to.
I respect the naked Tom Brady pick. You could go naked Tom. You could go naked Drew. You could go naked. Maybe even naked Russell. He could ball out and run a couple in himself against the Falcons. He just gets angry and man modes it.
Yeah. So I'm going to run over my lineup. We got Tom Brady, LaShawn McCoy, Lamar Miller, Tavon Austin, Cameron Meredith, Terrell Pryor, Jesse James, Le'Veon Bell, and the Bills. I didn't pick Kobe Fleener because I wouldn't have had enough to pick Le'Veon, and I really want to have Le'Veon in this lineup.
That's a banger of a lineup, bro.
That's actually pretty good, right? These are all players that have awful averages.
We win in that millie.
Which means that a lot of people should be fading them. It could just be you don't really know. But thank you guys so much for joining us on the episode 3 or 4 of the podcast. Big thanks to Aidan for taking the time out of his day to join us today.
Thanks for having me.
You are a host on this channel, so
it's true.
Thank you for being a host on the channel.
Thanks for showing up, Aidan.
Thanks for showing up, Aidan. Pat on the back. But I think we're gonna be rolling out a shout to Joe Rogan's podcast because he's gonna be. We're gonna go both watch that. He has done Dan Bilzerian, which is amazing. I didn't know about that. But a big thanks to everyone that's watching. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. It helps us out tremendously. Make sure to click the follow or the like or whatever it is. Make sure to leave a comment because honest feedback on this podcast helps us grow as a channel. You guys have a lovely day as well.
Thanks,
good luck
guys.
in the millie, everyone. Oh, I click enter instead of end. Oops.